I hate to say.
So here you want to
It doesn't matter.
wherever we squeeze in. So here is a handout of our budgets. It appears to be the court reporter salaries and what's at issue as everybody does. What we both asked for was what was suggested by the auditor, 3%. We also factored in the 27th pay, which bump them up, but it's just because of that. We've also looked at the salary study that folks are looking at as well. It appears that is based on averages. And so what we wanted to find out is why are our court reporters appear to be like they're being paid more. So I had my staff call every county that you see on this sheet, almost every county in the area, to give us some idea how many employees you actually have that you classify as clerical. And it was amazing what we learned. The only counties that have the same number of court recorders are us is Franklin County, Rush County. Franklin County and Rush County have maybe 6/10 of a caseload. They only have a full caseload. They are carrying the same number of employees that we have. So that's what we think the difference is. It makes staff with the salary study is there's counties more comparable to ours. Jennings County, for example, they have 4 full-time employees. What he and I have is 2 per court, running 3 courts up there with our magistrates. Jennings County is basically double. They have double the people. And if you take salaries and add these bigger numbers in, you're going to get a smaller number. Come out to here's what the average is. Because I doubt all 4 of those people are at the same rate. There are probably some that have less duties. Our court reporters have full duties. Each one has to be able to do much 100%. But if you look at some of these counties, Ripley County has an extra person that they call a bailiff, paralegal. We don't have that. We don't have any clerical help. Our court reporters are required to do everything. So they greet people at the door, answer the phone. Other counties have a more structured system where the court reporters, they're just there to go in the courtroom and their work. Don't have that. Shelby County, which has 3+ part-time people, extra people. Ripley County, as I said, they have extra people. The only folks that are as low as we are on the employees of the courts that don't have a full caseload. None of these courts have a higher caseload than he and I have, but there are courts that are lower. So that's what we think the difference is we're getting by with less. If we had to add even a part-time person per court to make us comparable, the cost would be way, way more than what question salary here. That's the difference. We're not trying to add more people. Because you've got to factor in health insurance benefits. We're happy with what we have, I think. But what we want them to be paid well. Their pay should reflect how hard they work, and they do. And we want to keep them. It has been, I have had my 2 new ones, so I'm still calling new ones for 2 years now, going on 2 years. They're still learning. So if I have to replace one of those, it's going to go somewhere else for higher pay. I hate having, but that takes time away from the other court reporter, takes time away from me, try to teach them. So really happy with keeping the ones we have. We don't want to lose anybody. Here is what we think is the reason why the salary study might be showing lower average.
Yeah, it's something else to keep in mind. It's hard to compare apples to apples because some clerk's offices and court offices have different duties, like Rush County, for example. Whenever I do a special judge case there, they have me send the order to the clerk because the clerk files it rather than their staff doing it. So those things are hard to quantify and know, but we try not to do that. And at some point when we added the third courtroom with the magistrate, we added another court reporter. We took over as much of the B&B as we could because it just made sense because we're the ones doing the order. And a lot of times it's one of those things where they only know what I wrote down. I know what I meant. So sometimes it's easier just to do it that way. So sometimes those things are hard to know. And the official court reporter, as opposed to the assistant, also has administrative duties. They have reports they're responsible for. And I'm not sure exactly how Judge Day does it, but on my side, we feel it's our responsibility to also help manage the cases the magistrate has. And if someone's on vacation, cover that and do those kinds of things. And I rely on the official court reporter to make sure it happens. Along with her duties that she has. And one of them, statutory one, by rule, also is to keep the court's record. It's her responsibility to do that. So those are things, I don't know if it was captured in our job description. It's hard to do a job description. You want to put other duties as required, but a lot of stuff. And I'm sure that a lot of people have that same thing, but we certainly do.
This will also praise the clerk for taking back the available duties, some of the jury duties. Some of these counties, as you can see, that's what they do that in-house, and our clerk has taken that back, so we rely on them to have available for us. And I very much appreciate it. It saves money. Saves you all a lot of money for to do that. So and that's it.
That's all we had.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, who's got suggestions here? Me too.
Christie, on this back page, it has the total for 26 at 10.3. And then all employees are current years of service pay is 10.9. Is that with 27 days or 27 days?
That is 26 days. So then to add our second one on top of what should be.
So how much would we have of that number?
Roughly, probably double that. I would imagine for one extra pay would be, right now we're paying about 430,000 a pay. So if you figure with the raises, I'm going to figure probably this much too. For that 27 pay. I can do a quick counting.
Well, I'm all for decreasing the cost of inflation. I think doing it by percentage is not a good way to do it because down the road, a year or two, just get wider. That's where I think if we go to a set number that we come up with for cost of living, and then I think we have to address each department on its own merits.
I mean, that's what, isn't that what WIS did, Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy? And is that what you're saying, that it's kind of what they did to go with that?
Well, they averaged 3%, which.
No, or, I'll let Ashley, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead. I mean, We had them do a study of similarly sized counties, units of government, private business. They provide services to 80 counties across Indiana. I think they know what they're doing. We wanted this chart so that there would be less decision making in the future. We paid for this. We trusted them to do it.
Well, I understand all that, but I mean, I think we can do our job, but just use averages. I think we have to use merit. Different things.
If we were going to use merits, we would be on a performance-based
Right,
system.
what kind of reviews do we have to base those merits on?
So who's gonna tell you that?
I mean, you can go in that direction now that you have set job descriptions for everyone. You can set performance appraisals every year so that people are given bonuses or raises based on their merits at certain levels. But, I mean, we're not there right now.
Well, I think that based on where we are today, I would like to see us get a raise figured out for everybody. And I would like to see us take each department based on what we've got here, the study we just had done, sit down with the department head and say, okay, what is out of whack in your department? Where's all the discrepancies at? Because everybody's coming at us with a discrepancy in their department.
It's going to happen every time. Those departments are the ones that created the job descriptions that the classifications were based on.
Understand? If we go to each department and we get everybody where they need to be and make sure that the pay differences are where they need to be, double check it all. And then I would like to see us salary committee or we end up with, come June, with sit down and look at all that before we get to this point, because it's going to become a little more than we can do at a budget meeting in an afternoon, get the paperwork 5 days before. I'd like to see it have a recommendation on wages and salary increases for that before we get to budget time. If we can sit down and look at where our numbers are and what we're capable of doing. But what I can tell, I've been a lot of hours since we met last trying to figure this thing out on where we are and who's getting what. And I know we paid for the study, and I think we need to use that. This last one we just got, we like take that base pay, start there, and sit down with the department heads. Because the bad thing is, when you go through this budget, you got deputies listed as a lump sum, you got the county highway listed as a lump sum. How many people they have, I don't know who's based, getting paid where. Tried to figure it out off of this sheet. Workstation's got 7 people, and there's only 6 listed here. I could make head or tails, but I'm not on the salary committee, so not knocking what you guys have done. I think what we've done so far, we've made an improvement, but we got issues that we got to get figured out. So if we get a percentage increase right now, just get it done. Let's sit down and look at each department, get it squared away, get it figured out, what the issues are, where we need to be. Because, I mean, we only got X amount of dollars. That's the thing. We're not private industry. We don't create our own income. We just have tax dollars that we're allowed to spend. That's all we have. So we got to be able to figure out how we're going to do that and keep everybody's department where they need to be. I don't know if we've ever got quite to that point. Based on the few numbers that I was able to figure out and I ran, if we did a 5% pay increase across the board, the ones that I ran would not get to what they asked for, but would get an increase to everybody. So we can get this year done. We would probably come back into our numbers where we need to be based on what we was telling us we need to cut out of the budget. And starting, once the adoption is done and the budget's done, then we need to start looking at each department, sit down with the department heads. My 10 cents worth.
Bearing in mind, I've been on the salary committee a pretty short time, so I don't know that I just have my head completely around it, but you start talking about 5%, 10%, and all that kind of stuff, you just kick the can down the road and creating some discrepancy on the top end, right?
Which is already there anyway.
I know, but how can we track that?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's the goal.
That's the goal, but we can't, I don't know that we can do it 20 down, 5 o'clock.
I agree totally.
So
with that.
if,
So if we come up with a range of $2,000 for your example, that might be the minimum for everybody. It's enough. I don't know if it's the right number or not, but it's a number.
Do you have enough money in the budget to get everybody to the base pay that you have for this year?
I think that's what we've got to figure out. But we don't know if we can. Got to put some numbers together, some examples, scenarios. Get where Wagner and Shealy recommended this to go.
It seems like that would be the best starting point, especially like from Christie and Patty's point of view, is like trying to figure out when they new hire, where to hire them. Base pay to go.
that's what I'm saying. When it
Yeah.
comes next year's budget time, we need to know exactly what we're doing.
That way, if
Possible.
you're already out of base pay this year, the
Yeah.
next year, it'd be
Well, I think
Deanna,
that's what works off average.
The 521 right there, that is the 27. That is 27 pays. It's the difference for that one. That'll be roughly one pay.
that's the
That's
additional
the
amount.
Yes,
Mhm.
that won't be reflected in 2028. What I would try to do, knowing that number, is try to get everybody to base for 2027. Do your review, and then that amount of money, you're not gonna have the 27, 2028,
Right.
it will already be built into your base budget. Try to get people to the service that you're comfortable with in 2028 with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of getting there. 1.7, we're just gonna have to. We got everybody at that base rate. It may not be the best alternative for everybody, so get us to a place where we can start.
Right, and you can start using this chart and
Yep.
cut out the ambiguity.
Yep.
New hires,
Yep.
and then you can.
So we would know going into 28, what department wages are gonna be.
A basis.
So is that level?
Right, thanks.
But this base is not where we kind of got stuck at last time. It's not taking into consideration anybody that's already over this. That's where we stopped last time, was what do you do for that? Whether it be a stipend, a percentage. Is this based on, I say, 20 some people probably, if not more, are over base?
So you could do. Times their salary. You could. As is. There's a service. Those are the two that cost.
So really, each way is the same. So
Yeah, I would say their salary.
Point was, you're gonna have over $500,000 in 28. Do something with it. You've already got budget. that gives you an opportunity to bring up a few more, and maybe I'll take the other side. Tell me if I'm wrong, but you bring up the ones that you brought up to base.
They would already,
I know, but if you're thinking about not giving, yeah, I'm thinking about, underpaid staff. How can we end up doing base plus if we're gonna give those that are already over base? This stipend situation. No, that I
Well,
quite
you're
get.
under
Yeah.
base.
Stipend is just for 1 year.
I know, I get that.
I understand what I'm saying is if you're under the base right now. We say everybody's going to base, they're gonna get that increase. If you're making over base now, whatever that difference is, stipend. Buy us a whole year to get everybody figured out where we need to be at the time. Next year, 28.
I'm under base. And you're over base. You bring me to base. And you get an extra. I'm not smiling. I mean,
I'm already getting more.
You're getting more what I'm getting.
I'm already getting more than you're getting now.
I understand, and I'm still smiling.
Everybody needs to get paid the same dollar amount?
That's what I'm trying to get at. I think we need to
No,
try to
I'm not.
figure out what we
No, I'm
got
saying
left
this-
over and maybe divide that up evenly amongst. the
But we're
whole
not
group if there's
paying
money
everybody,
spent.
everybody doesn't get paid the same.
I would say.
So if
We're
I'm
not talking
paying,
about pay. Talking about pay in one sense, it pays.
Right.
Also talking basic pay, which used to be, everybody got $3,000, everybody got $2,000. It didn't matter who you were, what you were, everybody got the same.
and we can get back to that point.
Let me throw out something out there. At our last meeting, I put on the Indiana County Council Association Facebook page, how many of you pay in percentage and how many of you pay in dollars? 95% said percentage. There's a reason the county do percentage and not dollars.
So we should-
So I'm gonna leave that.
The reason being is because if we had all the departments where they need to be based on their department, not anybody else. Everybody's in their own lane. We get everybody in that department, that's where they're supposed to be based on their, years of service, certification, everything. Then you give a 3% pay raise, everybody gets a 3% pay raise. They still stay, this person that's here and this person that's here does not automatically jump closer to that person. Everybody stays the same. They just all goes up at the same rate. That's why they use a percentage.
all paid at the same rate, that work. All paid at the same.
No, you're not
Yeah.
paying at the same rate.
Yeah.
It's based on your pay.
But then ones that are over base, we need to make that two base. You can't take it back.
Can't take it.
I agree.
So
That's,
where we are right now is that we have this study that has the base pay on there for everybody in the county. And right, if you look at that number, some people are below it, some people are above it. So if we opted to do that base pay across the board, if you're under, you'll get. If you're over, whatever that difference is, for 1 year, we're gonna pay you a stipend to cover that. Everybody doesn't lose anything. But between now and next, I'd say June 1st of next year, we need to look at every department, figure out who they've got in there, what their pay rate is, based off the study that we did. And let's get everybody set. Okay, so that way we know going in next year, if we need to, we're gonna increase our salaries to get everybody where they need to be next year. It's gonna cost us, $800,000 or $900,000. I don't know what that number might be. At least we know going into budget that this will get everybody's pay where they need to be for this year. Going to 29, we should be good.
I can figure that side. Well, I was
based
gonna
on-
say, if you guys, if the auditor's office can figure out what your example is, get a dollar amount.
It's
Okay.
based on, like say, I'm just gonna pick one off here. The LTC one, their base rate is 37,487. But right now, you've got somebody in the courthouse that's making $40,000 as their base pay based on what their job is. So they would get a stipend for $3,000 to cover the difference between that base.
You have to go through every department.
You'll have to go through and, well, it's easy to go off of this sheet because
Yeah,
everybody's
yeah.
listed. They'll have to go through and put this base on everybody's pay. And the ones that are over, we'll need to know what that number is and look at it and say, okay, this is how much of stipend we're gonna have to pay out this year.
So if they're over $3,000, they'll pay $3,000.
That's what they would have got paid anyway. If we would stay with everybody's pay that they're on now, we would have paid it anyway. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna cut anybody's, if that person's making $40,000, they're $3,000 over the base, then they will still,
They're already making over what they should be making.
yeah, but they're not gonna get an increase in pay. They're just gonna make what they were making. Gonna keep their pay rate the same.
They still gonna be making $3,000 more than the person.
They will, which they would have done anyway.
Yeah.
So, but then, so what we'll do is take a look at that department and say, okay, everybody's in your department. Let's look at what we're paying them based on this base rate, this guy, what their qualifications are, where they fall in the classification level, where they need to be. So then going into 28, we know that that person is at that level, has got 10 years plus experience. This is what their pay needs to be. Get everybody where they need to be at on this scale. And we'll know how much money it's going to cost us to get them. Now, we may be able to do that, we may not be able to do it, but we can get close. Maybe the next year we can help them get them where they need to be. Right now, it's all, everybody's in disarray. We don't know who's where they need to be, who's not where they need to be. All department heads are in here, know where the people need to be, and it's, everybody's got an issue. Anybody here don't have an issue?
I do.
So I'm just trying to get a way that we can, but here again, we only have X amount of dollars to spend. So, but we got to know where our numbers are before we can make a decision on if we're going to be able to do that. So
Can I ask Kenny, why, just so I understand though, why are you saying you don't know where people are at when this spreadsheet breaks out exactly where people are at, where they should be? Like
well,
what more
where
information?
they should be, but so is everybody where they should be according to that? Because if they are, then why are all the department heads in here with discrepancies in what they're paying the people?
Because there's a couple that are not happy with what WIS came back with. But you're
Okay.
gonna have.
Well, then that's something we'll take a look at. That's why I said, I think we need to sit down with, okay, why do you think that this is not working right in your department? I don't know that we've ever addressed it. Maybe these guys have.
We did way back.
They serve judges.
Yeah.
Every department way back.
So, yeah.
I have a question. When you guys said each department, but yet it's based off a point system according to Addie Brooker. So like in my case with the two chief deputies, they weren't even at the lowest level of the WIS study for like the whole time that the WIS study was in place. But yet you get people that come in 2 years making more than that
There
in
you go.
the, yeah, in
So
the
that's what I'm
same,
talking about.
and the same level 3, which isn't fair, but you, and this was even after the girls got $600 for their stipend.
Okay, and that's what I'm talking about. So we come in here, we have all this stuff going on, just like that right there. Everybody's got an issue, and somebody did this, somebody did that. We can't do our job that way. We need to know, we need to specifically know from each department head what is going on in the department. Where do you feel like you need to do what's going on? Because I'm probably just as guilty as anybody at this table that I haven't done that. I think that's what we need to be. We need to hear from them and get it figured out. That way, if we get it, everybody where it needs to be based on the study, we'll use those numbers and get that all done. And it should be a whole lot easier for us to look at our numbers. We get the move on that budget time and say, okay, we got to cut this much out. If we do a 3% increase, run it through the vice department and see where we're at. That makes sense, or am I just blowing smoke here?
We do have enough to shift 3%, right? We have enough for 5%.
Right now, we are sitting at 3.1 in county general that we've not gone through. And I started several different times going in and updating the salaries, but then I quit because it's all gonna change today. It takes a lot of time
Yeah.
to figure that 27th pay, figure FICA, figure PERF, knowing that I'm just gonna have to go in and redo it after today. So, but we do have it down to 3.1. So even if we add another 500,000, we're still within, we're gonna be approved. I mean, we've sent to state,
That 500.
700, 800,000.
Is 5%.
no, that is,
27.
that's the 27th. Okay, so over here, so the 564,000 is getting everybody difference of pay base versus longevity, 3%, anyone over allotted pay. So this 564,000 is getting everybody to the 3, 5, and 10 years where they fall.
Oh, okay.
Plus giving a 3% raise to anybody that's, or a 3% stipend to anybody that's over base. That's what that 560. So that to me is going to be probably max of what we would pay. Doing
That doesn't
everything.
address,
I don't
the
think,
sheriff talked about detention center. Probably need to pay more in there. That doesn't address any of those issues. Deputies and police, because we don't pay them enough. I mean, still got to go back there. I think make some adjustments. Yeah, exactly. We got a
that
couple.
may be in one specific area we have.
No, that's not saying because
But I mean, and I'm not speaking for you guys, but if you look and you look up here, like let's just take, are you talking about the detention center or the deputies? Like
well, maybe
deputies,
both.
but I mean, okay, so there's
I
one
think
deputy.
detention center is what.
Okay,
Both rely on her.
okay. But I mean, you look here, they're making roughly 41,918. But if you get them to where they need to be, now you've got some jumping up to 44, 45, 47. There's a 58. So see, when you put them in where they should be at on their, oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at 3%. When you look over here at the 10 and times, no, never mind. The majority of them are newer. That's, so it is the 3% column that I'm looking at that jumps them up.
So we're looking at that. PLL 82 makes 41,918. You just gave them right over the shit in base pay. We're going to increase it by 41 a week. No matter how long we've been, am I reading that right?
Yes. Correct. So see that this
So
already a lot.
If you did just that this year, you're going to get a $30,000 increase in pay just for this year.
No, not just for this year, going forward, and then
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
you give them
going
for
forward.
next
Well,
year.
going forward,
Moving
but
them.
Oh, right, yeah,
27,
yeah,
27. About 27.
okay.
So we're gonna get an increase. It's set.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're gonna sit down and look at what we can do in 28. And get it to where they need to be. That's what I'm saying we ought to take a look at.
Thank you, everybody.
But the people that are at base there are because they're at base because they're under the 3 years.
Well,
So,
I'm not, and right now, we're not even gonna look at
okay,
the year.
okay.
So, well, can I interject here? That's what happened last time. It's this right here. We did the base, didn't do the 3-5, grade 10. And that's what led to so many problems. That's what made this system not work to begin with 3 years ago. It's not doing that. Because it shrunk everything. It brought people down below it up, held the top people down. And it just compressed everything.
We're not looking at taking anybody down.
They don't go up in a relationship. The bottom comes close to the top, top stays where they're at.
Right.
We can phrase it that way. It compressed everything. And that's what led to the problem. I hate to say it, but I think 3 years ago, we looked at this. If we did the base 3, 5, 10, then we wouldn't be in the situation we're in now. I mean, the base 3, 5, 10 Don't get us where we want to be, but it gets us a lot closer than, you know what I mean? It's something we can start to work with. Okay? Uh, that's just my 2 cents worth.
I can leave that, Christie, that if we try to incorporate the 3, 5, 10 along with bringing up the base, that's the number.
That's that number. It's the 564,000.
A lot of ongoing issues.
And it don't solve all the issues, but it does get where we can start to work within.
I think there's so many issues going on in the Sheriff's Department. We need to start. Get everybody, we gotta get this budget done this year. If we try to figure out how to do that for every department in 3, 5, 10 year deal, and trying to figure out everybody's classification, make sure job description is correct, we can't get that done. We can't get it done. So, but if we start at the base that we have, the new base that we have now, and do like Rick and I were talking a minute ago, if you're under that, you're going to get an increase. If you're over that, whatever the overage is right now, you're going to get that too. Let us sit back and take a look at everybody's department and get it figured out. Okay? If, if we did that, and everybody got this trouble to quit, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think that's going to happen. But, and then that way we come to 28, we can do the 5, 10 year and get everybody where they exactly need to be. Okay?
Because you won't have a 27th payment.
We won't have a 27th pay. We'll know before we get to budget time what our numbers are, so we know how much we're going to be able to do. Hopefully get everybody to where they need to be. Get them on the right page, get them their 10 years, 5 years or so, whatever classification they are, put them. It'll basically give us a year to fix all the crap that we got going on right now, the differences. But to try to fix everything today, I don't know how we're going to do it. I want to, got to give everybody pay increase. We don't know how we're going to get. We got to get to a point where we don't have to say every year to do this because it's not going to get any easier this point forward with the SEA ones coming out, trying to figure that out, where our tax dollars are, how much money we're going to be able to spend because we don't know. That's the thing that really concerns me. Everybody's in this room. We're not we want everybody in this room to get paid what they deserve. I hope you all understand that. But we're county government. We only got X amount of dollars to spend. Don't generate any income. So we want everybody to get something, get increase, but we got to figure out how we can simplify this thing and get everybody to the level where they need to be. Just going in here, pick up and choose and doing this to I don't know. I don't know how to get it.
It sounds like to me you guys need to have a consistent schedule going on. So we just redid this study, right? So the year following should be, okay, this is our year of adjustment. We take a look at the study, we figure out where the deficiencies might be.
Yeah.
And maybe 3, it's all just kind of leveled off, and then you start that process all over. You should do something like that.
So in every department, we're going to be each individual person's going to change the salary. Some may get 2,000, some may get 3,000.
It depends on where they earn their base pay. What we started out.
What keeps us from just doing a straight $3,000 raise? We're going to beat our heads against this wall for that salary study as far as I'm concerned.
Well, even if we did that, at some point in time, we really need to get people to this base pay.
Well, most of them are.
One part.
Look at that though,
Sorry.
That's what it is.
which is less than what getting everybody to where, more than what it is getting everybody stuff.
What is that?
That's $3,000 raise.
So if we just put everybody to the base rate on this study, is that Which one is numbers?
So getting everybody to base is the 9,707,000, but that's not accounting for the 53. I added up 53 people that are over base. So if you look, we're being paid more. This 2026's salary is more than 2027's base because of the people that are over base.
You have a number on what base, what our budget will increase, just getting everyone to base.
By
It's
just
not
getting
over
everybody to base?
Yeah, it's at 590 years. What number is that?
I don't have it because there's 53 people over base.
I understand. So you take,
So right now, just to get everybody to
So
base is
people that are under
9,707,000. But we're paying 10,388,000 right now, so it's taking those 53 people backwards.
Christie, can we just do it? Your 2026 salary base. Whichever number is greater than that, yeah, that'll give you that number. I know Katie was mentioning like a stipend to get everybody to where they would be. Well, we know that column is 2026. So your 2026 pay, what you're paying people today, what base is, and the third column that says whichever of those numbers is greater is the base for it, what they're currently paid. Total of that number is.
I believe that's what's in that's what's in the WIS base. Let me find somebody that's over base. And I can tell you.
That's, that number would be accurate. What I'm saying is the column's either gonna be their base or what they made in 2026. That's gonna be the higher one, two numbers.
So what I did is right now, anybody that's over base, they're getting what they're making this year is in the base column.
So then
Okay, so that number, that number's not,
what they're asking.
the 9707 is not an accurate number if everybody just went to base.
No, it should.
It is, it is.
it's getting everybody to base plus what.
No raises for the people that are over.
Right.
Are getting.
So that is the number you guys were asking, trying to figure out. I think it's.
That's not fair to any increase for one soul base.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
That's just that paying that that's saying.
getting everybody to base. It's under base
And the people
and
that are
maintaining the level. What people are above the base are currently at.
right. You don't have to calculate the stipend difference to give the, yeah, it's already there.
What's the largest number by base you got on there?
So how much, Christie?
No, you'd have to go through them.
I got it. I got the over and under. The difference under is up here. The, let me lock my. A lot. Anyway, you're looking at this right here. You're looking at this column. Column H, yep. This column right here is the column of the people that are over base, under. Column I, people that are under base.
Some people get 8,000.
What is that, 14,000?
Yeah, surveyor. Oh, this is an old spreadsheet. So on the EXE, on the executive, WIS has those based at 70-hour work biweekly pays, and really these two highway people are 80. So it's not that, it's more like $8,000 under instead of that 16. But this is an older spreadsheet. So I had gone in and fixed that on the updated spreadsheet that you guys have.
So when you put that number,
Basically 400,000.
what's the
To get,
base pay plus the over, like 9.7 million. Is that what it was?
Plus the overwhelming one.
That's including the,
No, the over is, or the under, you mean the people that are underpaid? I'm sorry.
So your WIS base, the highlighted ones are overpaid.
The highlighted ones are where they should be at. So like these people here that are highlighted have been here more than 10 years. So they should be in this 10-year column.
Yeah, but over there on the WIS base,
Uh-huh.
why is that one high?
Because they haven't been here for 3 years yet. So they would just get the base.
Everybody else that's on there is already over. Everybody has to have a base pay, correct? WIS base, that's everybody's pay. Am I right, Chrissy, or
will be.
That's right.
that doesn't include if they were a year or 5 year or 10? That's
No.
just a base
That's just a
salary.
base.
Okay.
Mhm.
So are any of those numbers over what that base pay is?
So if you go, this is this year's salary.
Right?
So if you go down through here, like, just look at what they're making here, and then this is base. Yeah, so the people that are over here at the 3%, they're over. The people that are bolded under the 3%, that means they're over the base.
Okay, this column right here, it's here.
Yes, 8 or G is base pay for everyone.
What's the dollar out there on?
$9,007,000.
Instead of including what's it, 3%
So that
over
doesn't,
base or the 3 year?
The 3% is over what they're making now this year. So that's the thought behind that was to give, if you guys wanted to say a 3% rate over what they're making this year. So that's what that
we make one comment. So that WIS, then column G is base pay for every county employee, every classification.
yes,
So that brings some people up that were under that
correct.
to that. So they
Mhm.
get an increase.
All but the 53 people will get an increase.
Right. But the 53 that were over will get what the difference is between their overage and that base. That's what we're,
Not in that line.
not in that line, but I'm
That's
saying
where your
that's,
stipend number would come.
that's what I'm saying. This line doesn't reflect that. So do we have a column where it reflects what that number would be if we paid base pay and anybody that was over that, what would that total number look like?
Kenny, when you're saying stipend, are you saying in addition to their 2026 pay or to get them to their 20?
I think stipend's a conversation over here. I
It
think
would
we're
get them
trying to
to,
get to WIS and
so let me go back.
2,000 over.
and we'll.
That WIS base,
Okay, look at the one I have highlighted. We'll just pick on Shelley. Sorry.
okay.
Just who I saw.
This year, she's making 64,723. That base pay, for some reason, and I don't know why, I have to ask that question, is now, well, even maybe over here, that's her base pay, if somebody started with that job, that's what it is. So they started at 49,081. Kelly's making 64,723.
But with her, even with her 10 years in, because she's been here over 10 years, she's still over that 10-year mark.
Okay.
So that's what the
I'm not
3%.
concerned about any of that.
Okay.
Not looking at any of that. Looking at today. So that base pay starting at that job was $49,081. Kelly making 64,723. So we move everybody to base pay. The difference between 49 and 64 needs to be added to that 49,081. Not this year, not this year.
She getting longevity, incentive pay and some of that? Would that be some of the difference?
Am I what?
She be getting incentive pay.
She does.
That could get that to 64. That's probably not truly the base.
So, yeah, maybe hers is not a good example.
Okay, let me find somebody.
I'm trying to get a base established for next year so we can go from 27 to 28 and do it right. What I'm trying to do.
It takes consideration bringing all that are under base up to base, plus the amount of money that it would take for all the people over base to be included in one personnel salary number for 20.
Yes.
Okay, let's do this.
Wouldn't that be the same thing as
No, because the base, you don't know what the base pay was in 26. It might not be.
salary? That's great.
No,
No, your G,
No.
the WIS base.
26 salary includes the longevity. That's what they're getting now.
Only on that. No, nobody's getting longevity in their 2026 salary. Sorry, Kenny. I'm not understanding.
So you're telling me that 26 salary is a base pay. If somebody comes in and starts in that job, they're gonna make that dollar amount.
No, that's what
I'm
everybody
saying,
admitted
it's
this.
not- so you can't look at that as a base pay.
That simply is what their W-2 would have said. It's what that column amounts
Probably also includes overtime.
So don't look at 26.
No. Okay.
26 is done. Let's look at 27. So pick somebody here. So we got Amanda Bates, her 26 salary is 77,147. You move her to base pay, 68,159. Okay. So whatever that difference is, so they don't take a cut in pay, they get that. All right, because we're not trying to get it, we're not trying to cut anybody's pay.
to. What'd you call it, Bill?
Incentive?
The incentive part of that? Doesn't that throw some of this kind of out of whack? You just start just letting it over the base and incentive stuff like that.
Which is basically the same thing.
Can you back anybody with incentive out? Of the 26 pay number?
I mean, I could.
I mean, we can't be done. We just gotta continue to go here. But
Like this person,
You're uncovered
2026
nuggets.
pay has no incentive, no longevity, nothing. It's what they're getting paid
say
this
that
year.
again.
2026 for this person, and for probably everybody but 5 people out of the 53, do not have any type of incentive.
So 77 grand does not.
No,
I just heard you
no.
say.
maybe 5 people get incentive. 5 people out of 200 people.
Now, did the longevity stipend that was paid several years ago, that did get added to their base rate, so there is longevity.
Several years ago, but that became the new base that we work off of.
So that's what I think you're saying, there's, the bases are not the same because of that stipend several years ago.
Gotcha.
When you talk about, there's an individual that their 26 salary is about $100 over the base. So would that individual be included in your 53 Were they over $1 or 100?
Yes, because I have that note here too, to say, you know, what is the minimum? Should there be a minimum rate? Because there are people that are over by dollars.
Would it make sense to, if you did give $3,000 of it, they're part of what they get, because they can continue to get that number at 28, that gets you closer to 3% or 5% or 10%. Could that number be included in that? So there's some value in getting us to where we want to get to with this quicker. Okay?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I showed you the $3,000. It would be 600, roughly 615,000. I did that by 205, I think, people. So Kenny, you're asking to back all of that out that we did as the one-time longevity?
Yeah,
Okay,
all I was looking off was the WIS,
Was the
okay.
there?
where we are today.
Just trying to follow this. Let's just say somebody makes $100,000, okay? But the base pay is 90,000. So you would take them to 90,000. Then you would take the 100,000 times 3%, take it up to 103,000. You would pay them $13,000 for their salary this year. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying leave them at 100. If we, everybody,
So they would not get a 3%.
but we have to go back and look at that. All the ones that were already over, kept them where they were in 26. Then we'd have to probably do something on that.
Last night.
Just like last time, across the board, or anybody that was over. Just for, we're just talking 1 year. 1 year is all we're talking about.
You could factor was when you went from the extra pay on the 3 to 5 and 10, what was the rate of
Three.
3?
I have it here. It's higher end, it's 5% under base, and then each year was 3% on top of the year, the. Only because that very first pay should be on, it's on January 1st, I think, or should be. So that's a whole nother can of worms we have to open up because that is on a holiday. That Friday is on a holiday. It's a mess.
Well, so the list that I got, like from Tiffany, like it had columns that look like that. And it just said, she said to look at the far